Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience to participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togbat, on the Focal Online TV.
Okay, so good evening, whatever you are following us from. This is how I used to welcome you to the program when Focal Online TV. It's such a pleasure to be here after the weekend. It's good to be here. So for those of you who are watching by Facebook, kindly share our stream. Those of you who are watching by YouTube, continue following. We are here to stay linked to Trump. We are here to contribute towards our nation. Every opportunity we talk about the issues of nation building. We must always talk, we must always tell because we are around, we contribute to the progress of our nation. It's actually good to be back here, like I said. And it's always good to be back here. So, too many things happening in our country, Nigeria. Too many things happening in the country, Liberia. So the most important discussion has been about the draft national budget. The draft national budget. Uh, there, there, are, there are lots of views surrounding the draft national budget that has been submitted by the government of Nigeria to the Ministry of Finance to the national legislature. So you know the Minister of Finance is Amar Kamara. He is the one who is currently in the position to occupy the post as Finance Minister of Liberia. Also, too many things to talk about in our country, Liberia. Draft budget, most importantly, the draft budget has been series of reductions in the draft budget, which of course we will talk about. While we are talking about keep sharing our live video, keep sharing our live video, we are waiting our guest Harrison Kamu, who understand the issues about budget and how to analyze it. So we observe typically that the big five, there has been some significant reduction. There has been some significant reduction. There are other people we are hearing who are opposing to reductions made so far in the yearly budget. These are the people. So far, so good. The budget has received holistically. The budget has received uh, a very good amount of recommendations coming from other people, from other civil society actors, they are all praising the cost. So one person who disagree with the reduction is is um, NPC political leader Simon Freeman. So I will bring to what Simon Freeman has to say. What Simon Freeman has to say regarding the draft national budget. I will bring to what Simon Freeman has to say regarding the draft national budget. Okay, opposition politician Simon Freeman sets up criticism against Walker's administration. Says first national draft budget presents no solution to Liberia's problem. I will say that again. Uh, Opposition politician Simon Freeman sets up criticism against Walker's administration. Says first national draft budget presents no solution to Liberia's problem. The political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change, Simon Freeman, says the first draft national budget of the UP administration presents no solution to the problem of the people of Liberia. According to Mr. Freeman, the draft budget presented to the legislature is very terrible and tailored towards enriching President Walker and his scope of offices. Speaking to a journalist over the weekend via telephone, Stephen Freeman said the draft budget is a smart strategy by the UP to legislate children of the ordinary citizens who are living at the margin of the society. So that is what our, our political leader of the movement for progressive change, Stephen Freeman, is saying. He said no solution to the problem facing our country, also no solution to the problems facing Liberia. He is saying that it is a smart strategy intended to reach the people who work in the government cycle of Joseph Walker. But Senator Freeman is an economist, so probably he understands uh, he understands he understands what he's saying. So want to we want to have we want to have somebody who understands the issue also. So one person we have been able to make contact uh, is our Cameron, and Eric happens to be somebody who understands budget also. He did accounting, he did economics at the university at one of the universities in this country. So we have everything with us. We still have everything with us. We want to see as to how we can get him quickly so that he can give us his opinion regarding this draft national budget. So anyway, the most important thing about it is that whenever the budget is being presented to the national legislature, it falls under the jurisdiction of the national legislature through it falls under the supervision of the national legislature to scrutinize the budget to examine the budget to see as to what are those allotments that are in it, those slash, those reductions, what are it is actually in the holistic interest of the Liberian people. So Simon Freeman is one person who has come up publicly to criticize the draft national budget. But in the eyes in the eyes of many supporters of the rescue mission, the draft national budget is actually on the right footing. So we want to have, if we can have multiple views against this current draft budget, we would definitely appreciate that. So, like I said, we have only been able to establish connection with one person, Erison Kemun, who is also a student of accounting. He is currently doing his master program, and we want him to specifically talk about the budget and other key issues. We will talk about the big five. The big five. If I talk about the big five, what do I mean by the big five is that they the president, the vice president, the speaker, the pro tempore. Those are the big five. Those are the big five. We see a lot of and enhanced reallocations and allocations incrementally has been given to the University of Liberia. The University of Liberia. We saw some improvement in the Ministry of at the Ministry of Agriculture. The Ministry of Information too has some improvement. So let's see as to what we can get the story from Front Page Africa regarding this whole budget issue. Let's see as to what we can get. We are trying to get it. Let's see what we can get to Daily Observer. Let's see what we can get to Daily Observer. Let's see Daily Observer. Let's see what Daily Observer has. Okay. Okay. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll give you the full breakdown of the budget. Let's take a short break. Let's take a short break.
Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program, The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Toba, on the Focal Online TV.
Okay, let's paint a picture, make it big, pointing out the pressure. Patriarchy has become official, so let's talk about it, cause I'm seeking closure. Women have a different set of rules, but they should apply to your gender too. You judging me by the way I dress, while you walk in the streets with a bare chest? Yeah, bare chest, man, it's double standards. You DJ loud, but you can't stand it. You cheat on me many times, but when I do it once, I get your life sending. Let's talk about rape, discrimination, narcissism, that determination. To subjugate women and make them slaves, on domestic abuse, we get digging grave, fall up in my face, stop my youth man, generating fear like the boogeyman. You think you know women, you're very late, cause pure opinions, bro, you can't relate. So drop the axe at the record scratch. We done eating from an empty plate. I carry a child for 9 months, man, I bear pains you will never take. You said that women are the weaker vessel. If that is true, then we need protection. If you all were doing your jobs as men, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If I get a job, then you say I slept. If I don't, you say I'm a lazy wreck. But I'm a leader, then you feel threatened. Every day my existence is being questioned, suck the bias. stop the bias.
Yeah, I appreciate the advocacy, and yes, I listen to your allegations, but let me correct the misunderstanding and point out the flaws in your presentation. See, patriarchy is a word that women use every time they don't want to submit, and that is because they choose to be manipulative and put all the blame on the men. So women are never wrong, they always right. You call them out, they start to cry. You say the fact, then it's body shaming. Tell them cover up, then it's slut shaming. I walk around with my bare chest, cause I don't have to, shouldn't rest. It's simple biology, all we ask from you is decency. We are not enemies. Say narcissism and a male trait, women do it too, ask Will Smith. Domestic abuse and rape, I don't by poorly raised man, not a man. Why y'all trying to mess with God's plan? All this victim playing, I am not a fan. You talk about 9 months, but I spend my whole life working with my hands all for a woman. How is that fair? If we ain't got money, you don't care. See, I don't see women complaining about being a farmer, but y'all wanna be president. So this ain't even about equality, it's about power and mastery. Truth hurts, but it gotta be said. Can't eat your cake and have it, I swear. No. Who's biased now?
Okay, folks, welcome back again. It's good to be back here. Thank you for staying with us. Keep sharing the live video. We just spoke with our guest, and he confirmed that he would be here. He is not verified from most. So this is a story published by one of the local dailies, specifically the Daily Observer, and the headline for a Baka fresh draft budget is strong mix of saving, cost, and growth. Like the people place it, if you actually look at the budget, the draft budget, because the reason why they have draft budgets is because that budget is still in its draft stage. So the protocol is that if the legislature, who has the power to authorize or to scrutinize and give a partial approval towards that budget, if they concord with the budget by looking at the various disbursement, by looking at those key areas that need to be reduced, by looking at those key areas that should be increased budgetary wise, then they will definitely give in their partial approval before it will go to the president. That's how it works. So there is a saving. There is a portion of this budget that will definitely go towards saving. There is a portion after all of those areas have been slashed. Sometimes they will reallocate. Then for the purpose of having it, for the purpose of having those key areas experience an effective performance. So, like I said, this is a draft national budget submitted by Baka's administration to the legislature just over a week. Is up for scrutiny and comes with a tone of frugality that wouldn't be expected of President Baka, totaling $692,441. The expenditure portion of the draft budget comes with upward adjustment to recurring expenditure, downward adjustment to key offices of leadership, and some positive appropriations in line with the president's arrest agenda. These adjustments reflect a strategic reallocation of resources toward priority areas such as education, healthcare, and agriculture, while other implementing cost-saving measures in administrative and legislative functions. The draft budget shows a growth rate of 5.3% in 2024. 5.3%. 5.3% the growth rate in 2024, which is expected to increase to 6.0% in medium term. So medium term, up from 4.6% experienced in 2023 rather. So they are doing a comparative analysis regarding the budget that was earlier submitted during the period of 2023 to that of what is being submitted now. A substantial portion of the budget, which is 93%, is allocated to recurrent costs. Recurrent costs, for those of you who are watching, recurrent costs is mean the issues about salary, gasoline, and stipends, if any. That is why 93% of the total budget under 2023 was allocated to recurrent expenditure. So I just said what recurrent expenditure is. Recurrent expenditure, it has to do with salaries, and all of those things, gas, the issues about paying government and paying government bills and other issues. That is what we refer to as recurrent expenditure. So let's go again. Let's continue. Is allocated to recurrent, making a significant increase from the previous fiscal year. The submitted budget now sees a dramatic upturn of recurrent costs from the previous 2023 fiscal budget of 621,484,000, representing 80% of the previous 782.94 million budget in 2023 to a rise of 440,593,000 million, representing 93% of the 692,041 million in the 2024 draft national budget. So let's take a short break. Let's take a short break and see as to whether we have our guests. Let's take a short break and make some adjustment in the background. Musical break. Lump.
Fine friend, let me. If you not want betrayal, fine friend, let me. Fine friend, let me. Fine friend, let me. If you not want betrayal, fine friend, let me.
Bombe oh, fine friend, let me. Bombe jene oh, fine friend, let me. Fine friend, let me. Fine friend, let me.
Hey, see bestie, your bestie not sweet like my bestie. Your bestie da la bestie. Fine friend, let me.
I say, see bestie wanting to weffy. Fine friend, let me. I hear them say they want me go. I say
Some of them say they want me go.
I say
Some French là, oh Some French là, oh Some French là, oh French là, oh Hey, bestie, your bestie not sweet like my bestie. The bestie da la bestie, find a friend like me.
I say, see bestie, wanting to wealthy. Find a friend like me. Okoro. They won't step on my blessing, but God get it breaking, yeah. Okoro. They won't call it my blessing, but God get it breaking, yeah.
Okoro. Frenchie, see Frenchie. Can't see Papa T Frenchie. And I want no back for Frenchie. Wangolo, Wango for bestie, Wango for daddy, Wangolo.
I hear say, they want me go, I say, I hear them say, they want me go, I say,
Some French Some French Some French friend by my bestie, the bestie da la bestie, find a friend like me.
I say, see bestie, wanting to wealthy, my lonely, find a friend like me.
DJ Young T.
You got money like Johnny. You funny.
Off the back of a peace deal that followed decades of war and violence and coups, you ended your mandate with Liberia's first successful democratic transition in 73
wanted to
years.
take a
You're
short
the first
break
woman to lead an
to
African nation, a Nobel
connect
Peace
with you
Prize
again.
winner. And
So
yet
we
some might say
still
you've been more
continue.
popular
Welcome to the
abroad
program.
than you have been at home. What do you say to that?
Welcome to the program Foka Points on Foka Oran TV, the program where we discuss the issues. We do not discuss personality, we discuss the issues, we discuss persons, we discuss the issues involving persons. So it's good to be back here. We try to throw light on but let's suspend the discussion because this is something that we have. This is something that we have. So let's talk about the issues. So on today, the General Service Agency, launched a rigorous access retrieval scheme
When you
at
became
the
president in
Banuman
2005, you pledged
Junction,
a war on corruption. You called it, quote,
and this
a
particular
national
exercise is
and, quote,
intended
public
to
enemy number one. But then you yourself were
is
hit with a
intended to
variety
retrieve
of scandals, your government,
the
and you later
diverted
said you,
or
quote,
stolen
underestimated the cultural roots
diverted
of
or
corruption.
stolen
But surely
government
Liberian culture isn't to blame for corruption. Liberian politicians such as
diverted or
yourself
stolen
are
government
to blame
assets
for corruption.
Well, let me tell you,
from
politicians are part
past
of the
and
culture.
immediate past government
Politicians are part of value
and
systems.
officials.
But it sounds like you're blaming
So,
the public, the country. for the
Today
actions of
exercise
politicians.
was
No,
almost like
you're
a
just
verification
copying what I'm
exercise
listening.
because
That's not what I'm
you
saying.
have
I'm saying dependency, dishonesty
you have the
became part of the Liberian culture over the many years of deprivation.
you have the
institutions to fight corruption were not there.
You mentioned the
you
institution.
have the director,
And yet you did have an
the
independent
deputy
corruption
director
watchdog,
general for
General
technical
Auditing Commission,
service,
which
technical
found 20
services,
government ministers
Robert
accused,
N.S.
20 government ministers
Wilson,
of corruption, and you
who
failed
was
to prosecute
actually
any of them. Why?
conducting this particular exercise.
Well, let me tell you
That he
something.
underscored the
All of
importance
those
about this
reports
particular
were
exercise.
sent to
It's
our
not
Liberian
based upon what he
anti-corruption,
said to
agency.
us,
They were
or based
also
upon what he
sent to
said
our
to the
legislature.
journalists,
We
to some of the
organized
journalists who were
a
actually
particular
on the
unit in
scene.
presidency
This
to be
is
able
not
to look
a
at
witch
all
hunt
of those
issue.
cases
This is
and
not
to
a
be
witch
able
hunt
to
issue.
send them
So it
forward
shouldn't
to the
be
justice. wherever
it
they
shouldn't be
thought
misconstrued
prosecution was
as a
necessary.
witch hunt
But
issue.
let
Because,
me
you know,
proud
in
because
Liberia, we
our
have
system is like that.
this
If
mindset
you
that
have
every
not,
other
if you
thing
want to really
that the government
understand
does,
Nigeria, you need to
you know,
learn
it's actually a witch hunt.
You need to
That is the
understand
mentality we all
our
have.
culture, our
That is just the
values,
mentality
our
we all have.
systems, and the
So,
way to tackle it is not
which
always
hunt.
to just make a
So
whole lot
that
of
is the
noise
newest.
about it,
That is the newest
but to
phrase.
quietly
Whenever you
wear
ask
those
people, they say,
institutions
"Oh,
that are going
the
to
wish
be
hunt,"
long
you know,
lasting.
What is it about
"Oh,
your
the wish,
country's
oh, the
institutions
wish
and
hunt, oh,
values
the
and
wish hunt."
culture that led you
So
to
every
appoint
other
3 of your
aspect, there is a
sons
need
and
that
your
the
sister
government try
to top
to
government positions?
create more
Something that led to
awareness
your fellow
on,
Liberian Nobel Peace
in
Laureate
trying to
Lema Bowie to resign
trying
from her
to
post as head of Liberia's
enhance
Peace
the
and
understanding
Reconciliation
of
Commission.
the
Does she
people
not understand
regarding
Liberian
every other
culture or
steps.
No, no,
institutions?
Because
no, no,
nowadays,
no.
every other steps
No,
under this new
let's put it
administration
this way.
has
First
been
of all, when I took
misconstrued
office,
as the witch
if you're
hunt and
talking
other
about
stuff. So
one of my
it
sons
is
was always
important that the
in
government be
place
able to
a couple of
press forward
administrations before
by
I took
creating
place, and I
awareness
didn't fire
so
him
that people get to
unless I didn't
be
think it was necessary
so
to
that
do
people
so.
can get informed
If you're talking
about the
about the
actions of
others
the
where I
government.
needed a special
So okay,
skill
other
to be able
issues, the
to
debate about
objective of
the
trying to
war,
mobilize the
economic
resources
crime code
to tackle our major
is still
development
in
programs,
is still in
that's what I
full
did.
gear. We have
And
said
frankly, will you
we
please
have
look
said
around
so many
today
things about the
at
war
some
and
other
economic crime
countries that have
code.
found themselves perhaps
They
in similar positions and have been able to put in place those particular
Which
relatives
countries?
close to them
Which
whom they
countries are
feel they
those?
could trust. I'll leave that to you to do your research on.
Well, I've done my research. The British Prime Minister hasn't appointed any
But
family
then I-
members.
then
The
I-
Canadian Prime Minister hasn't appointed any family members. The French President hasn't appointed any family members. The German Chancellor hasn't appointed any family members. I could
Well,
keep going.
good
Ellen
for
Johnson,
them.
Sirleaf.
Good for them, is that all?
Specialized skill sets. Your son, Robert Sirleaf, was appointed chairman of Liberia's National Oil Company.
Fuck out TV.
US dollars
Bringing
disappeared.
you innovation
What
to
special skill set did
broadcasting,
he bring
news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Fuck out TV. With check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Fuck out TV. Bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Fuck out TV. The best online platform in broadcasting. Fuck out TV. Located at Tokumale, Somalia Drive.
The National Oil Company.
Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fast-paced in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular.
Obviously, you're not going to agree
On
with
that
the charges.
subject,
I'm just asking you.
our system requires that when we have a
Okay, folks,
another jurisdiction,
it's actually good to be back here. Like I said to you, all of these
until that
show,
matter
all of
is
these
settled
things that
by
I
the
show
courts.
you
So you're trying to make
recent,
me do things that are
uh,
not right, not
programs we organize. So whenever we are broadcasting, we like to display them so that our public, our audience get to be informed about what are some of those fantastic jobs we do here at Legal Communications Incorporated, popularly known as FUCA Online TV. So there are lots of work being done at our station. We encourage people to do business with us. We encourage people to take advantage of us. We are independent. We are one of the independent media institutions in the country, and there are lots of things we are into. We do the practical nature of what the word innovation represents. So if you come back most of the time, like sometimes when I speak, when I'm actually talking, interacting with some of the people, and I say I want to extend an invitation to you. So where do you want? Where do you work? I say I work by online TV. And they say, oh, how would that particular invitation be done? Is it possible that you send me the link? I said, no, we don't only have we don't only have that only a link. We have a full. And we have a terrestrial structure where that is to say we have a land structure where people can, on the radio station, people can have access to our view, and we can bring you, what it takes. You understand? So is that what good? That is the clear definition. Even though we are hoping to transition into an FM service, other works are being done at the back end. It's actually good to be here. It's actually good to be here. Let's see. So this issues about the war and economic crime. Court, the debate is actually taking swing. If you interestingly, you see a lot of organizations trying to add their voices to the existing voice, voices that are always speaking against the issues about ethnic cultural impunity, civil society organizations in Liberia who have added their voices to call on people to abolish the issues of a war and the culture of impunity. This culture of impunity has lasted for so many years. There is a need that in order for us to have a democratic solution as a country, Liberia, if we are to set this country on course by attracting foreign investors into our country, we should allow those people who commit serious crime, those people who were the enablers of the atrocities that we experience as a nation, they should be made for what they did. They should be made. I'm so sorry. This is going to disappointment the most. The fact that almost all of the people who participate into the process, these are people, or those are the people. We have been able to award them. Yes, I use the word award because almost all of the people, the major actors, who played a very major role into the civil crisis. We have started to award them. We have awarded them, many of whom we have awarded them strategic positions in government. That is a complete reward. If the electors have not realized we are awarding these people, damaging our country, if the electors have not realized, if we have not gotten that sense of thoughtfulness that we should not be rewarding these people for destroying our country, their actions is just an interpretation of reward. Yes. Let's take for typical example the likes of Yahya Nimlin. The people of Grenjira County went to work and elected a warlord. How did they manage to do that? Probably they learned from the Nimbadians.
Those that take away from
they learned from the Nimbadians.
From the progress we have. But I think the record is clear, the evidence is
the Nimbadians were the very first people.
Thank you so much for joining me on Upfront.
The Nimbadians were the very first people.
But let's say I'm glad it's over.
To elect if not the very first people, but
Tayyip Erdogan's ruling Justice
they
and
were one of
Development
those
Party,
people,
or AK party, suffered surprising losses in local
or they were
elections
one of the
across
breed
Turkey,
of
including
the breed of
Istanbul and
Liberians who
Ankara
went to
for the
work
first
and
time
went
in
to
almost
the
20
polls
years.
and
But the
rewarded
Turkish president
presidency
refused to
with
concede, and earlier
office.
this month, the country's High Election Council announced a rerun of the Istanbul mayoral election to be held on June 23rd. So, is this just the latest step
So
on the
other
road to
people
Turkish autocracy, or is
have started to
Erdogan, as his
exploit
supporters say, just protecting the integrity of
that
the
particular
election
area.
process? Joining me to
Warlord.
debate this from Istanbul, Harun Armagan, a senior member of the
Yahya
AK Party
Nimri.
and its former vice deputy chairman for human rights, and Mustafa Akyol, senior fellow at the Cato Institute and contributing opinion writer at the New York
That was
Times.
one of the
Thank you
reasons
both for joining
why
me in
Willem
the arena.
drove
Harun, your
one of the
party
major
suffered
actors into the
significant losses
14
in the
years
local
of
elections in
senseless war
March,
that was fought
including
into
in
this country.
Istanbul,
Yahya Nimri.
where your president used to be
He had the
mayor.
audacity to contest for
democracy,
elected
many
office
would
in
say,
Nima
is supposed
Kante.
to respect the election result, not demand multiple recounts.
And the most
and then have a
disappointing me
rerun
is
of the
you
whole
ever
election
listen
just
to
because
some
your
international
candidate didn't
views
win.
about how we Liberians are proceeding by rewarding these people who committed atrocities in this country.
Is going to rerun because
They will tell you Liberia is not a serious country.
Body, electoral commission made a decision to go to a rerun for two reasons. Because number one is that there were
They will tell you that Liberia is not a serious
ballot
country.
box officers. Number two, there were irregularities.
Liberia is not a serious country because
which in the law
people who
clearly says
help
that in
destroy
sort of
this country.
cases, if it's impacting the final result
These
of
are the
election,
people.
it goes to a rerun.
We
And it's not the first time
reward them with
in last
political
municipal
office.
elections, there were 14 municipalities that
I have
went to
spoken
rerun
with
for
so
similar
many
reasons.
When you say irregularities,
Sierra Leoneans.
Voters in Istanbul
All
didn't just
those
vote
key
for mayor
actors
on
who
March
participated
31st. They
into the
cast
14 years
4
rising.
different votes on 4
These
different
people
pieces
have not,
of
you know, these
paper that were all
people
put
were
into the
being
same
denied
envelope before going into the ballot box. But you're not calling for a rerun of all 4 votes.
from
How
holding
come 3
public
are okay,
offices.
but one of the votes is irregular. That makes no sense.
That
to
should
me.
be a practical
It's
consequences.
very simple, Matty, if you know the law.
But instead in
Because the
Liberia,
difference-
we
the difference
care
between the
less.
2 candidates in Istanbul Metropolitan
We
Municipality
care less about
is,
those things.
very small. If you look at the local
This
municipalities,
is totally heartbreaking.
the irregularities are there, valid for them as well, but they are not.
This
impacting
is
the
totally
final result
heartbreaking.
because The difference is more.
Okay, Mustafa.
Isn't that
it's
we
an
do
independent body
much
calling for a
awareness
rerun
have not
and
been
voting
have
irregularly.
not been
Mustafa.
made by the government
Well,
in
maybe
terms
I
of
think it's not that
educating
simple.
us
And
on how to
I should first say
proceed.
this. I'm really sad about what Turkey has become. It's my country. We had a great
But we shouldn't be
accomplishment
doing
in
this
the
as
early
a
21st
country.
century. We were the
And this is
shining
why
star of the Muslim world.
Several recommendations as
Unfortunately,
contained,
we
but the
devolved
most
into a
important, the
grim
most significant one of the
authoritarian
recommendations
in the
as
past
enshrined
6
within the
years.
TRC report
And
has
a
been
lot
the
of things have gone
establishment, the
down,
call
freedom
for the
of speech
establishment of the
independent
Escort Tribunal
press.
to
A lot
try
of things
those
have
who
gone down
committed
already, but at least the
atrocities in
elections
this
were there.
country.
At least elections were trusted.
But
And
all of
now,
those
with the
recommendations,
cancellation of the Istanbul
if we are being more
elections,
practical
unfortunately,
about those
there are
recommendations,
questions about
I
even
can tell
the
you
accuracy
that
of elections
Liberia will
and the
definitely be
legitimacy of elections
moving
in Turkey.
for
It will be bad.
whatever one of us
Even
expect
former
Liberia
President, former Abdullah former
to
Prime
be.
Minister Ahmed Davutoglu, who were the people who built
But the
this party,
greatest of all of
said
those
that
recommendations
this
have not been
really a
implemented.
bad thing for our democracy.
President Ali Joseph
There are
Sirleaf,
independent scholars
who
don't see
led this
any
country for
reason,
12
any
years.
reason for the cancellation of the elections. The elections are cancelled on a
He didn't do it.
technicality that there were not people. There are
Of all of the
220,000
international
ballots in
connection
Istanbul,
Ali
and
had,
200 of them, the people who are the head of the team counting
she
the
could not
ballots
adhere to
were
those
not
recommendations.
government officials.
The
They
most
didn't used to
important
be government
recommendation,
officials for decades. This is a new law the AKP brought.
in order
The
for
fact
us
that
to
they're
have
not
a
government
genuine
officials
reconciliation
doesn't
process in
prove
this country,
any
people should
misdeed there on the
people should
ground.
be
It's just a technicality.
held accountable for their
Technicality
action.
is not used to cancel other elections across Turkey in which the opposition lost. The only place where opposition won, which is Istanbul, the most important place, is now being cancelled. And the ruling party will have its arguments, but other than themselves, nobody
If
in
you are
Turkey believes this is fair.
Harry, let me ask you this question.
those
You said earlier that I was just repeating
have
opposition
not
talking points, but it's
interest.
not just the opposition who have been criticising
So
the
coming
rerun of this election.
into
As
our-
Mustafa
into
pointed
our-
out,
into our
Abdullah Gül,
economic
the former
treaty.
president of Turkey, member of
That
your
should be
party,
one
the
of the
AK party,
reasons.
has said that it casts a
Well,
shadow
yes, that
over
is
our
one of the
democracy.
reasons.
Ahmed Davutoglu, former prime minister,
You
member
cannot
of your
have
party,
people who
has said
committed
it's
crimes
caused our fundamental values to
against
be
humanity.
undermined. Are they also opposition members
You
now?
cannot have people who committed massacre.
First of all, these 2 gentlemen are
And
founders
these
of
very
our party
people
and very respected senior politicians of our
are
party. and they
still
always,
operated into
not
our
let them
political
do
corridor.
criticism.
and they are still being influential.
and
aside from them
of course
being,
they are open to give their
aside from them
opinions.
just
We hear
working
their
into
opinions. They
the
are
government
able to
space,
make their
they are
criticism.
very,
Indeed,
very
this is
influential.
what
Let's
makes
talk
that
about
party
Prince
very
Johnson, for
democratic party,
example.
and they are making this decision based on law, not someone else.
Prince Johnson is
maybe
by
they
far one
made
of the
an
most
unpopular
influential
choice to go
persons.
to repeat these elections, but at the same time, this was the right decision, according to the law.
Mustafa, to be fair to the AKP, doesn't the fact that they're not demanding reruns in places like Adana or Mesrine, where they also lost to the
All of the
opposition,
elections that have been
maybe
conducted
suggest
here
that
in
there's a
Nigeria
genuine
so far,
objection
since
having
we
a
recovered
standoff?
from
Because they're not
war
asking for
in
reruns across the board,
2003.
across the whole country, are they?
No, they're not asking for a rerun in Ankara as well, which they lost.
so
And I think
2005, we saw how
Istanbul
Prince Johnson
is
played the
the
elections.
most important thing in the scene. Secondly, there's a really close call. I mean, they lost. with a very
2011,
small
we
margin.
saw
But the
what
mere
Prince
fact
Johnson
that
did.
Elections are rerun in Turkey when the ruling party. thinks that they're not
2017, we
helpful,
saw what Prince
that's a
Johnson
stain
did.
on our democracy.
Harun, the fact remains that the
2023,
Party
we
did
saw
lose
what
the
he did
opposition
again.
in other cities throughout Turkey. How do you interpret those losses? Aren't they a referendum?
In a
on
more
President
practical
Erdogan's
sense,
rule? Aren't they evidence of dissatisfaction from the Turkish
he is
public
perceived
with
to be
Erdogan's rule?
No, Mehdi.
the political godfather of Nima
For
County.
the general election last year for President Erdogan, with a significant landslide win. So interpreting this municipal election results as a general election,
this is with
is
no doubt.
It's wrong. That's not correct. And even if you do
Whenever
that,
people
Mehdi,
want to
if you look at
analyze
general popular
the
vote,
Nimbai
party still
politics,
holds 53% general vote.
you will always see them making reference to Prince Johnson.
There's no doubt that President Erdogan and
That's
AKP is
why
still popular in Turkey. There's no doubt about that. The problem
People, there are
the
other
rest
people
of the
with
country
independent
is
mind
being demonized
There are other
by the
people
propaganda machine of the government.
who have an
In Turkey,
independent
the problem
thought.
we have is a very divisive rhetoric which considers one political line
There are
legitimate
other
and the other
conscious
one is illegal.
Nimbadians.
I'm not saying that the President Erdogan is
but
the
the
only
Mr.
person
Prince
who's
Johnson
doing this.
factor
To be fair, you're Turkish.
can
I'm
never
not,
be
but
dwarfed.
to be fair, you're now based in the US, where you're working at a US think tank.
The
you
Prince
write for the New York
Johnson
Times. Many would
factor
say the US
cannot be
is a
rooted
country
out from
where
our
the president
from the
delegitimizes
Nimbai
the
politics.
opposition, doesn't treat all sections of society
Since the
equally.
declaration
So many in Turkey, and you've
of the
heard this,
by-election to
many in Turkey
replace
say we're being demonized.
Senator Jeremiah Kun, who is
Doing
now the
reference
vice
to a
president-elect of the
sultan,
Republic
to
of
an
Liberia,
empire.
we still
The
see
Western media
the
bias
Prince
against
Johnson
Turkey,
factor.
against Erdogan.
Yes, I agree.
All of
What do you
those
say to that?
people who have declared
There's polarization in the US too, very venomous polarization, and I
Oh,
actually
yeah,
see some
yeah,
of the
ambition,
populist
rather,
narrative I know from
for that
Turkey in the
particular
US
position.
politics as well.
Yeah.
Today, in the hands of, for example, President Trump and some
All
the
of them.
others. But in the US,
Almost
there are
every one of them.
institutions, there are certain checks and balances. When President Trump
For clarity's
passes a
sake,
Muslim ban, a judge
almost
can
every
stop
one of
that.
them,
In Turkey,
they
that
are
judge
caught
would be
in-
in trouble himself.
They are caught in the
US,
support
there's
of
an
Senator
independent
Prince
media.
Johnson.
President Trump calls it the enemy of the people,
Oh, I
but
disagree.
that term doesn't become
You
an
understand?
indictment to
They
put
are
a
caught
newspaper
in support of
journalist in
Senator
jail.
Prince Johnson.
In Turkey, the problem is that populist wave, which is now all across the world, is so strong. And it crushed institutions.
Okay, so let's
And
ask
it left very little.
let's take a
in
short
the
break.
media.
Harun about
So we have a very advanced version of populism in Turkey. In the US, you have a problem as well. In the Western democracy, you have a problem as well. Harun, I mean, I think it is not unfair to say I don't think Turkey has a media has become number one at propaganda machine of the government. The 90% of
Exclusive beat.
Brabby, what you taking? Oh, man, picking anything. Okay, get my Brabby, bottle water, like drink. When I bottle water, I'm one of my big next day. Oh, Brabby. How can you know that you not know I put it? When you say NZ, you my Ali exclusive. Love is sweet and sure I know. So I enjoy my life. Because anytime I can go. Love you and leave me, let me do me.
The other weekend, I will enjoy myself. The way they be in the star co, I will feel myself. My money I finish, but I'm moving from yourself.
So I hit the club. People were dancing, but I choose to say upset because I went there for something. Then I saw the fan get what kayaking, I won't go and see. I said, let me try my luck and see. Maybe she agree. And I cry, I come to see someone who I let them holler. So I talk to myself, let it be your man.
Bamufia, you go be your man, you go be your man. So I walk out the door, I say, "Fan girl, hello, what you doing?" She say, "Fan, what you drinking?" She say, "Shinta." I say, "Partner, get what tin." She like, "Wow." Nete, thank you. Baby, don't thank me, you deserve it. Or Queen, you deserve it. When you want some more, I provide it. So,
okay, folks, there's actually good,
reporters and columnists who are
we have some technical issues that I needed to address. So, like I was saying,
this is the people's will. You can say
Prince Johnson,
let's be honest that Hurriyet,
former rebel, former warlord, the head
any of that, or are you saying there's been no change in all of the world's human rights groups who
of
have pointed out
the
INPFL,
INPFL,
the media consolidation, the record number
almost
of
all of you
journalists in Turkey,
deal with the
now
Liberian
more
history.
journalists than any other country in the world. Are you denying all of that? It's all just
the Liberian history has a specific
These
account.
accusations have no basis. First of all, changing ownership in the media.
It has a
is
specific
decision
account
that those businessmen can make.
where they talk about Prince Johnson,
and also
how he
has
entailed
to be more specific. David Abramovich,
process.
for example, he left the Guardian and he went to the Times because
what
his
led
line wasn't
to
really matching with the Guardian's
Okay, but
line.
David Abramovich hasn't been arrested or detained.
What led him to
You know that
forming his
many
own
journalists have been arrested and detained.
according
in Turkey,
to
so it's
some
not a very good
sources.
analogy. You know
That's
that tens
another-
of thousands of people, academics,
It was
journalists,
because of the
journalists,
issues about
journalists,
dissatisfaction.
I'm
have
very,
all been detained. You know that. Come on.
Prince Johnson
You know
was
that tens of thousands of
dissatisfied.
people have been detained in Turkey. You're not denying that.
I'm very glad you brought it up, Mehdi. I'm very glad you brought it up because I now have chance to clear that up. First of all,
Because
in
automatically,
own words, in 2018, when he was speaking in Brussels, he said from his own words, he clearly said that the Gulenist cult,
the head of the whole revolution,
power on bureaucracy, the
Call it
military,
a
the
revolution.
police, the judiciary, and media and
He was the
education.
head of the whole
And those guys later on tried to overthrow an elected government. These number of journalists.
Prince Johnson being a man
nonsense. One of them
who
are
is so
in jail because he
entrenched
actually
with his
published a sex tape of
dictatorship,
opposition
probably-
leader. One of them is in jail because he murdered
This
a person.
what about is
Not
a
all of them
not
are-
solve
not
Turkey's
all of-
problems.
not all of
Western
them are-
democracy has a lot of problems as well. Turkey has 10 times more of that. And unless we don't even acknowledge that those
So there
problems
is
exist,
actually a need
Turkey will
for
not
the
go anywhere
establishment
better.
of the
Guys,
war.
we've run out of time. Harun Mustafa will have to leave it there. We're out of time.
So many
Apologies.
things to
That
talk
was very
about.
lively. And that's
We
our
are
show.
hearing
Our
again
fun will be
that
later
this
year.
issues about who is swapping President Joseph Boakas, who is acting or who is subverting the function of the president.
On Upfront today, we'll debate
So,
why
folks,
Turkey
thank
is
you.
rerunning a major
Thank
election.
you.
But first,
This is
I'll
our
challenge
Mr.
Nobel
Claudia
Peace
Day.
laureate and former Liberian president